a heck of a first episode, guys. What a heck of a first episode. And as I said, we are going to watch the second one. A few things I want to go. I really want to just break down this first episode real quick, and then we'll get to the second one. So, number one, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it, just get off now. I'm about to spoil. We're about to talk about spoilers. Whatever. Okay, so the episode out the gate, we see Foggy die, which I think is really insane. And the whole part of, Murdock is hearing Foggy's heartbeat as he's trying to, fight Bullseye. I think that was really, really awesome. And then, he throws Bullseye off of the roof when, Foggy finally dies, but Bullseye gets up from the dead, which, it makes sense. And, Matt ends up quitting the Daredevil role. And then we get a 1 year time jump, which, as I called, right, it was going to be a time jump. And Dialogues, you called it. You called this thing. So shout out to you. And Hamburger as well. You called the whole thing with, something weird going on with Bullseye. So you called that as well. So we see that Vanessa has taken over, Wilson Fisk's whole criminal operation that he has going on, which makes sense because, he was kind of out for a while due to the stuff in Echo. He was gone, so it makes sense. And then we also get to see Bullseye's trial where Murdock is not, testifying, or he's not the lawyer, but he had to go and testify. So that was cool. And then, we obviously see that Karen is being so distant. When Karen first came in, I didn't understand why she was so distant at first. But then I was like, okay, it's because Matt kind of shut down and just ignored her, which in most cases when travesties like this happen, people usually shut down. Makes sense. So that's also interesting. And she's pretty mad about that. And she pretty much walks out. And it's just funny because we see that Foggy and Karen weren't even going to be in the show. Still feels like that they're not in the show. But the fact that we got to see them in the first episode is cool. And to be honest, I don't even think you need them in this show for this to work because I am sold already on this whole, not only this world that they're building, but this plot, it has to be 100% sold already. I am itching to hit click second episode. Wow. Wilson Fisk and, oh my God, it's amazing. So, yeah. And we also see that, Wilson Fisk, he has declared that he's going to be running for mayor of New York, which was obviously everyone was kind of waiting for that to happen. And everyone's hype about Fisk. Some people are with it, some people aren't. So that was very interesting. We also see that Fisk and Murdock, there were remnants of it. So Murdock was actually keeping tabs on Fisk, and because he was shocked that he was running, and then we see them finally meet up for a conversation, and they kind of caught up with each other, which I thought was super cool, and I really love that. And we see that they also joked about some of the events that happened in Echo. It's good to see that they're still following up with the continuity and stuff like that. And we see that Fisk told Matt that he told him yo, I have nothing to do with Foggy's death, which was cool, knowing that he's like, yo, don't come after me. Which I'm pretty sure if you watch this, I'm not sure if you guys thought that Fisk has something to do with Foggy's death. Didn't really cross my mind, even though Bullseye is an assassin. Didn't really cross my mind that maybe Fisk hired him. And we also see that Matt, gives him a chilling, just warning, yo, if you step out of line, I will be there. What I'm saying? I will be there to, confront you, which was cool. And then the conversation that they had in general in that scene was just masterful. You know what I mean? And, now we know that Fisk is now the mayor of New York City. And the one thing that is weird to me, though, is Vanessa. What the heck is going on with her? Vanessa has been very weird. And I think that she's doing something behind the scenes. And I'm not sure. I don't want to say she's going to stab Fisk in the back because I do think that a part of her maybe doubted him. Because we see in the end of the episode, she's like, yo, do not try to kill Matt. Don't try to do it. And I think she's saying that because she knows that, that's his arch nemesis. And no matter how friendly they try to play it with each other, they will always have beef. And I think that's what, is the heart of Daredevil and Kingpin's things, that they will always want to one up each other. So it's a really good episode. And then, the fighting in the beginning, I expected that to be amazing, and it was. Took me some getting used to just seeing that much movement again. I don't know why. It just took my eyes some getting used to, but I ended up really liking it. So this episode is amazing. It's good. It's a great intro into the Daredevil story. So now we are about to start the second episode. So let's go through episode 2, man. So number 1, I think that Vanessa is behind Foggy's death. I don't know why, but just seeing her face just makes you feel like she's responsible for it. And we see Fisk, his first speech to New York, and he's on the big jumbotron. Can I join you for a chat? Yeah, sure. Yeah, let me just give a quick grandiose of this, and then I will invite you on to talk. So yeah, I think Vanessa is behind Foggy's death. As I said, we see Fisk give his first speech to New York, and he calls out the Punisher, he calls out Daredevil, and he calls out Spider-Man. The NYPD, they are faking as civilians to catch vigilantes now, and that was how they caught the White Tiger. And what happened is, there is still a split, by the people on if they like what Fisk is doing or not. Some like this idea, some other people still want the heroes to be around. And Vanessa hasn't really shown herself publicly. And if you guys have watched politics in real life, usually the wife is around and she hasn't, and it's really hurting his vote from a political standpoint, and with a lot of his older people that for his vote. For him to get more older people to like support his campaign, he has to have his wife around. So then we see Matt Murdock link up with the White Tiger, aka Hector Ayala, because he's in jail and he heard him getting beat up by one of the cops because basically he ended up he didn't really kill the cop. The cop like tripped when he was fighting the cops and he ended up getting hit by a train. So obviously Hector Ayala is just getting freaking just beat the crap out of. And so he's in jail. And we see that Matt, is kind of getting heat for representing Hector. And, a lot of things are kind of getting to a head because there's really no proof for Hector. He's kind of cooked. The only person he has is that one defendant, Nikki, and that's it. So I also want to say I really love how they adapted the social media in this episode and in the first two episodes in general about how they have that show. It seems like it feels like it's a YouTube show, you know what I mean, where they're filming people's outlooks, like they're really adapting some stuff that's like current now. It looks really good, and it doesn't look like they're trying to force it. It fits the story perfectly. And then there was this whole situation where the police was going to protest against Fisk. And we also see someone from Fisk's team. He kind of went to Matt Murdock's girlfriend's book signing, and he ended up getting his book signed by her. And at first, I thought that he was going to spy on her, but obviously, it's something different. And we find out that the police commissioner ended up crashing out on Wilson Fisk, calling him Kingpin, calling him a criminal, and basically just not believing him, that Wilson Fisk actually trying to be a good guy. And we also find out that Hector and his wife are not on good terms. They're at odds because when we saw the first hearing that they had, his wife didn't show up, and Matt Murdock thought that was weird. So his colleague went to go and visit her, and she's not on good terms. But we also find his White Tiger costume with his amulet. Okay, now if you guys don't know, White Tiger's amulet is what gives him the powers, the super strength, and all that stuff. So now Matt Murdock knows that he is the White Tiger. Okay, and so the police commissioner ends up walking into Wilson Fisk office, and he's like, "Yo, I want to resign." And Fisk, obviously, because he's a savage, he has dirt on him, so he ended up deciding to stay. He ended up literally pulling the carpet from under him and literally showing him, "Yo, like I have the dirt on you. You cannot leave me." Pause. And so now he decided to stay. And the dirt was that he has a love child, he has a side chick in King of Prussia, Philadelphia. And so and he doesn't want to get exposed for that. And so we go back to, Murdock and the judge, and he tells the judge that Hector is the vigilante. And he told the judge that because none of that can be held against Hector, because Hector wasn't the White Tiger when this whole debacle happened. And I do think that in this episode, like, Murdock is starting to realize that he needs to be something more, and that, him being a lawyer isn't working. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to save Hector by being just a Matt Murdock. He needs to be something more. He needs to be the Daredevil. So we also see that Murdock's girlfriend is counseling Fisk and Vanessa, which is why Fisk's people was trying to talk to her. And I thought that he was trying to spy on Matt, but it's not. So it's very interesting. And Matt Murdock ends up getting to Nikki, who is, he is literally the only witness that can testify that, Hector didn't kill that cop. And the cops that were on the scene, they were trying to find Nikki and kill him, but Matt Murdock helped him escape. And basically, like, they started to attack Matt Murdock and beat him up, and then they were about to shoot him in the head and kill him because he's defending Hector. But obviously, Matt Murdock crashes out, beats the crap out of him, and I think he kills one of them, slams him on his neck, and then Matt Murdock yells, and then the episode ends. So yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown of both episodes.